Good afternoon, and welcome to the City Club of Cleveland. My name is Brandon Linton, and I'm the marketing chair of the City Club New Leaders. According to the Henry J. Kaiser Foundation, people of color represent 1/3 of the population in the U.S., yet they account for nearly 50% of the uninsured who lack access to care. It's hard to know but the true cost of health disparities, but a recent report estimated between 2003 to 2006 that more than $200 billion could have been saved in direct medical expenditures if health disparities did not exist. People of color continue to experience the worst access to health care and worse medical outcomes than their non-Hispanic white counterparts. Here at the City Club today, to discuss the prevalence of health disparities among women and minorities and its role in the global economy is no other than Cindy Kent. Cindy Kent is the Vice President of Marketing for Medtronics, the world's largest leading medical device company. Her teams lead the development of brand strategy as well as the tactical execution of global marketing initiatives for the gastro-urinary and deep brain stimulating therapies within the neuromodule sector. Before joining Medtronics in 2007, Cindy worked at Eli Lilly for 15 years in various functions, including marketing, human resources, sales, and marketing. Cindy is often recognized for her big-picture integrative approach, cross-functional collaboration, and for recruiting and developing high-performance teams. In 2007, Cindy was one of the 50 leaders selected for the German Marshall Fellowship, in which she represented the United States to officials in Germany, Turkey, Slovakia, and Belgium. In 2008, Cindy was recognized by the Twin Cities Business Journal's Top 40 Under 40 in recognition for both her professional and civic contributions. Cindy is the chairperson for the Twin Cities American Heart Association Go Business Outreach Committee and serves on the Marketing Advisory Board for the Girl Scouts of River Valley. Cindy is a 2008 graduate of the Executive Leadership Committee's Talented Pipeline Initiative and was recently one of 20 leaders selected to participate in Medtronic's Global Leadership Program, where participants spent several months on projects aimed at improving operations in Brazil. Cindy holds an MBA in marketing and a Master's of Divinity in Pastoral Care and Leadership from both Vanderbilt University. In addition, she has a Bachelor's of Science in Industrial Engineer from Northwestern University. Without further ado, please welcome to the City Club, Cindy Kent.
Thanks to Brandon for the very kind and very long introduction. But I am so ingratiated for the opportunity to come speak at City Club today. It is an honor to be invited to speak at the City Club of Cleveland, which has a long, rich history that you know better than I in this city and serves as a citadel of free speech and has hosted dignitaries and leaders from all facets of society, both public and private alike. I am particularly privileged to be designated Speaker for Black History Month, not just because I will spend the bulk of my time talking about the innumerable contributions that African Americans have made to American society, specifically outside of the realms of sports and entertainment, but rather I'm honored to be a female speaker at an institution that was founded by and for men in 1912. I am awed to be part of a legacy whose speakers have included past presidents and executives and current and past civic leaders. This is particularly true when I myself am the byproduct of a high school pregnancy, of a 17 and 18-year-old junior and senior in high school who themselves were members of the lower socioeconomic population. But I am here neither seeking pity nor praise, honestly, but I think that I have been absolutely blessed to overcome all the odds that were clearly stacked against me. My aim today is to highlight my nearly 20-year, I probably should cough when I say that, nearly 20-year career in healthcare that goes beyond just passion or career choice to a decision and a career of purpose, to hopefully incite in your consciousness regarding healthcare disparities, and maybe, just maybe, to encourage some of you to pick up the mantle and join me in the ranks of careers in healthcare. I will be the first one to say that all gainful and legal employment is honorable. But for me, I cannot imagine a career in any other industry. And firstly, it's not just because the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics projects that the healthcare industry will generate 3.2 million new job and wage salary jobs in the 10-year span between 2008 and 2018, more than any other industry. And during that same period of time, 10 of the 20 fastest growing occupations will also be in healthcare. And this is largely driven, as you might imagine, because of the growing elderly population in the U.S. and because, if you think about it, jobs in the healthcare industry span the entire human lifespan. And I was joking in the car earlier, a little bit before, when we're still in test tubes. So it's not even to mention, so if you take those statistics, what is not even included in there is that jobs like mine in the pharmaceutical or medical technology space are not even counted in the Bureau's statistics because those jobs are considered manufacturing jobs. So when you add those together, it's a pretty compelling case as to why we would pursue or why one would pursue careers and opportunities in this field. I may add that I didn't get involved in healthcare blindly or naively, but I have worked for the top food and food service company, as we discussed, and at 29 years old, I was a management consultant making over $12,000 a month as an intern, mind you, so it wasn't even my full-time job or real job, as an intern living in a condo high-rise in Chicago's Gold Coast. And obviously, I have motivations that go well beyond the prestige or the financial trappings of these jobs afforded me. But none have brought me the personal satisfaction and joy that I've experienced by working for these 20 years at two mission-centric pharmaceutical and now medical device companies. And not only that, but the personal satisfaction that I get at playing doctor with family and friends who are looking for a second opinion or at least a good medical referral, because I know people pretty much in all the states that they can go to when they're looking for a referral. But for me, this career journey, as well as my work and interest in healthcare disparities, is more of a personal mission. And here's why. At 51 years old, my maternal grandmother died of heart failure or kidney failure associated with years of uncontrolled blood pressure. Both my paternal grandparents and recently my mother succumbed also to heart disease, all conditions, incidentally, where African Americans are affected at a greater rate than any other population of people. So that's my personal story. So in the balance of our time together, I'd like to cover three topics briefly. The first is to provide an overview and describe the context and how to think about healthcare disparities. The second is to outline what the healthcare industry in general and Medtronic in particular are doing about these disparities. And third, my goal is finally to make a call to action of what you can do to make a difference and to get involved. So, overview of disparities. I think we all recognize that no Black History Month speech is complete without a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And because I am particularly ambitious, I've got three quotes. And the first is from a speech that he gave in 1966. And the quote is this: "Of all the forms of equality, injustice in healthcare is the most shocking and most inhumane." The second, taken from his I Have a Dream speech in Washington, D.C. in 1963, he said in the midst of that speech, "This is our hope